Hello, Legend of the Samurai here with the Clavis F-22. This one was generously lent to me by Artichoke 2000, so thanks so much for that. It's another high pin count Japanese dimple lock. This is the upgraded form of the Q18, which had 4 rows. This one adds a 5th row up on the top with 4 more pins. They interact with the spine on the edge of the key. On this particular lock, they're all maximum lift, so there's no cut bitting there, but they can have 3 different depths up there. And they basically took all of the security upgrades in their more recent T20 model and put them in the Q18 with more pins, and that's what we have here. So every single driver is a spool, a bunch of the key pins are as well, and there's very little room to work. So bear with me, this may take a little bit. To begin with, the maximum lift spools, the widest part sits right at shear, so I have to lift a couple of those up to get a false set. There we go. And now I start working on spools, and we'll see how long that takes. Starting on the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 0 lift. There's this max lift at the back on the top left, so here it goes. I think I've got it. 1, and 2. There we go. Switch to the top right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right side. 1, 2, and I think I overset that. I did. Alright, dropped it back. I heard something else drop back too, so I'll have to find that later. 3, 4. Check the top right. Oh no, it's this front one that dropped. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I'll move to the top. 1, 2, 3, and 4, but no open, which means something else is still under or overset. There's another one that had dropped. there we go. It's that max lift at the back. So, unlike the Q18, this one has all of the pin chambers staggered, so you can do a full spin of it, and because there's no opening of the keyway, the drivers don't go anywhere. So, there we are, open, and now begins the process of taking it apart. So, there are some pins that normally hold these together. Replaced one with a set screw, and then the core pops out the back. And then they have these Bible covers for all 5. They are crimped in place, but those crimps can be gently wedged out, and then these can be made to slide. And one thing that they have done, I'm not entirely sure how, is they have caused all of the springs to stick to the drivers, which makes them much nicer to handle. It almost looks like they're spot welded on the inside or glued or something, but here is the driver. They are all identical. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting these key pins out can be... There's 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll show that's one of their spooled key pins. Second cover. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, top row, one, 2, 3, 4. These top row pins are very tiny. Fourth row. Wait, says 5. Three, 4, 5. Fifth row. One, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So here are all of the pins, all 22 of them. Every single driver is spooled, and a good number of them, I believe 8, the key pins are as well. Now there's a couple of interesting things going on with the housing and the core. So one is up here, they have a little split section, and that has a much larger spring. And under that is a ball bearing, and that is acting as a centering detent, because there is a little blind hole in there that hits. And then I can get the clip off the back. Little tail piece. So first, well, take this out first. There are 2 ball bearings in blind holes that sit in front of the 4-pin rows. Here's that top hole that the ball bearing hits. Here is a hardened pin that goes diagonally across the back of the keyway, which I assume blocks bypass attempts, and it appears to be press fit in there. I can't take it out. There are also construction core holes for the outside rows, so it could be construction keyed. And if you can see, there is a second step of overmilling, although it doesn't appear to do a whole lot in this lock. Most things I only need to pick once unless they drop. And then the last interesting thing to note is on the housing itself. So we have drilled 22 holes for pins, plus 1 for that ball bearing detent. But if you look, every single row has an extra partially drilled chamber. And some of them also have these hardened pins driven in for more anti-drill protection. But these extra blind holes, I can only guess that is for positional master keying. Because if you were to take 22 pins and arrange them across 27 positions, that would give you just over 80,000 differs, which is plenty for most large institutions. And that would allow them to keep 22 pins in all of these locks without using any master wafers. to handle large master key systems. It also does mean that they could theoretically finish drilling those holes and install 27 pins in a model, which could be a lot of fun to pick, but so far as I know, they don't do that. But there we are. That is the Clavis F-22, their current flagship model. Key is very, very similar to the Q18. In fact, the keyway is identical. Both keys fit in both locks. In this one, it staggers, so blue is left, red is right. The left and right rows alternate along here, and then we have the top right, top left, and top. And the bitting goes in a spiral. So it goes left, top right, top, top left, and then it hits the next one, and so they spiral on, and that's how you end up with none of these chambers overlapping such that we can spin the plug. Which does make it somewhat easier to pick than the Q18 because it does not relock, and they could have allowed this to relock because the 5454 is the same as the Q18, it's just offset a little bit. So a very fun lock, very, very tricky to get into. You have to be extremely precise with your tension. I was letting off manually to set every single pin. If I attempt to do it with the flag, everything oversets, and it's just chasing around oversets for half an hour. But show this one more time. All 22 pins. And once again, thanks to Artichoke 2000 for lending me this lock. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.